at CDAC Hyderabad, and he has vast experience, and he is also into the various other aspects related to the mobile threat intelligence and those areas, of course, like which we cannot discuss as part of this session. So we restrict ourselves within that limitations of mobile and mobile app security. And as usual, and if you have any questions, kindly keep it in the chat area. Please make use of that chat area to ask any questions related to these session related things, or any other questions also. We are happy to answer those questions. So once again, thank you all, and thank you, MC Krishna, for joining with us. And
Yeah, thank you,
the
sir.
floor is all yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, good afternoon to everyone. As today we are going to discuss about mobile and mobile application security. So from last few decades, we are completely evolving the technology into the evolution of the technology in various fields. In various fields, apart from that, in mobile devices and mobile applications also, there is a vast rapid growth in both the development and the mobile application development and mobile manufacture also. So and the same in the same time, the usage of the mobile devices also going in a rapid way. So in 90s, mobile phones are considered as a luxury, but now it has become as a basic need for basic need. So it is because of the evolution of the technology, it has become as a basic necessity for the user or as a normal person. So because it has turned everything now, it has turned from digital for everything. Either it from the digital from the pay, it may be the managing the payments, or we have if we want to take the appointment, we are taking the app of like Practo. So based on that, we are taking the appointments through the mobile device itself. All we need today is a smartphone only. So it has become everything need to today as a need. So it has become and easy to use also. Even the non-layman who don't know anything also, he can open the YouTube, he can open the website, they are doing the many things. So it has become the very easy to use the mobile application and even the smartphone. So apart from the growth of the technology, even in the pandemic also, so everything has shifted from work from home workforces. So through online studies for children like Zoom, like Byju's, everything, online apps are there, everything is came into as a ease only. So it become as workforce on smartphones. So everyone using the smartphone, everyone using their mobile apps in the smartphone, and they are communicating. So smartphones become as a key for the communication. So it has become the key for everything, and even in the pandemic. So all these facts and figures are enough to prove that the power and need of smartphones. So all these things, see, from starting when we wake up, we start with the mobile device. What are the messages we have? What is the events are today? If you write on calendar, it will show the events. What are the events today we have? So everything it will show. So from our daily life, from starting of your daily life, it will start with the mobile phone, and will when you are sleeping, we'll keep the what are the things are today, what are the messages we have received. Either it may be in WhatsApp, it may be in Insta. Everything is it has become as daily need. So it is not about a smartphone only. The main hero of this is like mobile application. It is not only we are discussing about the mobile phone. So without mobile application, smartphone is nothing. So both mobile application and mobile device are both combined only, then it will become a blockbuster. So today we have a mobile phone app for everything, wherever you want to order a food, submit the assignments, apps for the core smartphones. So the mobile apps has become the main reason for using the smartphones. So that mobile applications are going in a rapid way. So applications are going in a rapid way, and it has become an essential gadget to perform the day-to-day activities. So as per the recent survey, an average Indian spends about 4.7 hours every day on their mobile device. Either it may be in a WhatsApp, either it may be on email, or it may be on Instagram, everything. So on an average, an Indian user is spending 4.7 hours every day on the mobile device itself. So what are the different categories in the mobile app? So for education purpose, there are Byju's are there, An Academy, edX, Udemy, everything are there. So these all are the study education apps where the students from class 1 to class 12, or even for the engineering students, everything they are taking the mobile apps and they are reading. Especially during the Corona time for online classes, they are used these Byju's, and for school children, they are using these mobile apps like anything. Coming to the communication apps, even in the WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Skype, which is used for better communication with our loved families and loved ones, or we even in the for communication with the people. So coming to the banking and financial apps like Google Pay, Phone Pay, imagine not going to the bank, but still we are going to transfer the money to our family friends with a fraction of seconds. Before we are going to bank, we have to stand in a queue and we have to write the form and we have to give that. Then it will take a 1 hour or 2 hours of time. Then it will update in our account. So this much or not there. No, within a fraction of seconds, we are transferring the amount to someone or to our friend or our family members or to some other business persons. If you want to send some money, we are giving in a fraction of second, because these are the banking apps that came as into picture. So these are because of the smartphone and smart applications. So for if you want to travel, we have to use the Abibus or Redbus. Imagine buying a train ticket on the website. This is where our ancestors never imagined or did. So we have to go to the train ticket, we have to go to the nearest railway station, we have to stand in same thing. So now with the Abibus, Redbus, IRCTC, everything, flight tickets for India, everything has came into online mobile apps. So it has become very easy for us, for even for shopping, Amazon, Flipkart, for food ordering, Zomato, Swiggy, within a fraction of seconds we can book the food and we'll get it delivered to our near to home. So and essential repairs, like even for repairs also and everything, we urban club. So like this many apps, so advanced mobile apps has came into picture. So for entertainment, Prime Video, Netflix, Hotstar, these are the mobile categories. So how they have been developed for education, banking, travel, shopping, everything, the mobile app applications are there. For this it is not there. For everything what we need, there is a one mobile app. So everything it is within our hand, we can do anything. So current state of mobile device usage in history. See mobile phones users in India in lakh. See in 2022 it has reached like anything. From 2015 to see it is growing like anything. Every time that it is getting 40 to 50 lakhs users, crores of users, it has been increased. So this is the current state of mobile device users in country. India has witnessed over 845% of increase in mobile attacks since. See, now the main problem is the mobile applications are increasing, the smartphone devices are increasing. So when the mobile applications are increasing, the people who are developing the mobile applications, they are failing to have the standards of developing the application. So they are failing to have the development standards, and they are developing in a normal way, and they are giving some leaks in the application which will reach to threat of the user, and they are stealing the information of the user. So based on non-development standard guidelines, when they are developing, so there will be increase in the mobile attacks also. So when the applications are increasing, in the simultaneously the attacks also are increasing. So from since October 2020, with people continue to work from home due to COVID-19 pandemic, there are many of them are using the mobile applications. At the same time, the attacks has been increased. Latest 2021 mobile security report Checkpoint asset that 1,345 mobile attacks is there in 2020, which has jumped to 12,719 attacks in March 2021. Within a short span of time, it has increased like anything. So we have to take care of that. So how do we have to take care of this? So this is the incidence of cyber attacks across India. See, 2020, 14.03 lakhs are there. And till 2020, till February, within 2 months, it has reached to 2.12. So it is increasing like anything. So we have to take care of that. How to take care of these things? How to either only the developer who is developing the application, he has to take care of, or the user who is using the application, he has to take care. It totally depends on the application. So we'll go one by one who has to take care of that. How to secure mobile applications, how to secure our smartphone either from developer mode or either from the user mode. So we'll check one by one. So with respect to the percentage, 50, so the persons who are developing the mobile application, 50% of companies have zero budget dedicated to secure their mobile apps. So they are not maintaining the applications. They are not they are not maintaining the standards to develop the application. They are not they are not auditing the applications. They are not testing the applications. So 50% of companies are not Even they are testing, they are directly uploading the apps in the Play Store and they are publishing it and they are releasing. So 50% of companies have zero budget dedicated to secure their mobile apps, and 40% of companies do not scan their code in their mobile apps for security vulnerabilities. So they are not thinking about the vulnerabilities. They are using the third-party APIs. They are using some source code which is available on the internet, which is not secure, and they are directly using that code in the mobile application. They are directly deploying they are developing the code and they are developing the app and they are directly releasing that app. So 1 billion personal data records were compromised by cyber attacks in 2014, and any given time, mobile malware is affecting. Due to this, if you use the third-party libraries when you are developing the application, in that third-party library, that the person who has given that third-party library, he will keep some malware in that where he can when that library is used, he will take that. He will take the information of the user or something in the application and they will use for their personal use. So this has been happening. On an average, a company tests less than half of the mobile apps they built. So most of the companies, they are not testing the mobile apps. So definitely nowadays we have to test the mobile app and then we have to release that. So 33% never test apps to ensure they are secure. So this with respect to Android. So in Android, in Play Store people won't test any app when they are publishing into the Play Store. So Play Store people they will check the small guidelines, is they followed these things or not, and they will release the app. So this is the main problem with the Android. So how mobile device is different from the PC? So it has a limited computing resource, mobile device. So the battery, CPU, memory, storage and bandwidth, there are limiting resources in the mobile. So therefore we cannot directly implement PC security solutions for mobile. Whatever the solutions are there in the PCs, it won't be directly eligible for the mobile, so it won't be implemented in the mobiles. So we need to develop separately for the mobile device. It is very ubiquitous. It is mobile devices are very less expensive and it is affordable, and for every mobile device there will be a different varying in the configurations. It may be the OS version, it may be the RAMs, storage, everything. So it may be very configurations, more interfaces for communication and connectivity. So there will be in mobile device, there is more interface that we can connect the mobile Bluetooth very easily, Wi-Fi, cellular networks, USB threatening, unthreatening, etc. We can communicate easily with by using these things. So, and it is vulnerable to social engineering attacks. Last time ma'am has said that there will be social engineering where easily it is great connectivity lead to great risk. If you connect very easily, definitely there will be a possibility of the risk. So their great connectivity leads to great risk. So coming to where mobile device has the threat, where the threat will happen in the mobile device. So because mobile device is very portable, if you if you lost this mobile device, definitely there will be subject to loss of stealing the info. The device will be stealing because it is a portable. If you lost, it will be there, and subject to short range breaches of communication, Wi-Fi, NFC, everything will be there. So it will be very easy way to breach the communication and carry sensitive content, because if you have a mobile device, will have it will, if you on the location GPS, it will track your location where you are exactly, it is there. Definitely it will track to your IMEs, and based on the time definitely they can track your information. So MAC address they can track, like if you and you are carrying some payment gateway banks apps are there where you have stored your credit card details, bank details, everything you are storing there in that. So carrying sensitive content, payment apps, financial credit cards, everything. So wider range of software apps than PCs. So there is an app for it, then just you name it, definitely there will be one app for that, and for everything there will be app. So we should install the app from the trusted resource. We should not install the apps from the third parties. So untrusted third party vendors, there will be different third party vendors are there where they are giving the apps to install where they can store the information. So this is the mobile threat where the threat can happen. So where the user authentication passwords will be the biometric, where the threat will happen. So if you and voice software attestation, access control permissions. We have, whenever we are installing the app, we will give some permissions to the application where it can lead to access some other apps in the mobile itself. So this we think. And location privacy, advertising may attract to track transit. So some social engineering attacks will be there, like which ma'am said that earlier before, like email as through how the email, through email they can attack, through SMS how they can attack, through social engineering networks how they are attacking. So these are the things which there will be a scope of threat in the mobile devices. And there are some critical features in the mobile application like camera, messaging, microphone, contacts, gallery, location, map, browsing internet. These are some critical features in your mobile app every day we are using. So these are the apps also where we are giving permissions to access these things. So we should be careful. We should be regularly monitor these permissions of the critical features in your mobile device. So when you are installing the camera app, it will ask you to allow this app for allow this permission to access at the time of using, allow this app every time, all the time, allow this app, don't allow this permission to take this. So we have to take care of that when we have to use this permission. So we have to use at the time of using, try to allow this permission so that it will be helpful for us. So what are the common types of mobile frauds? Like monitoring the activity. User activities are monitored without the knowledge of the user. So some based on, like before ma'am said, some SMS, like social engineering attacks or some malwares. Like recently we have seen that Pegasus, without anything of like zero click attack, without anything, they are attacking some malware into your device, and they are giving the they're tracking the users. So based on your activities, everything they are monitoring without the knowledge of the user. So through advertisements, they are following apps which you are freely available may have the advertisement. So now we are using many apps which are free. And the same time, when we are using the app, we'll have some advertisements. So at the time of advertisements, we'll see some advertisements when you are using the mobile app. Suddenly the pop-up will appear, and these are the advertisements. So when we click on that, it will redirect to some other website, and it will redirect out of the app, and it will show some advertisements. So they will have some within the advertisement, they will push some uh, they will push some malware in that. When user clicks on that, it will enter into the mobile device, and it will have some malware issue. So market is including user location, behavior, etc. Apps may looking for to record users behavior for certain surveys, campaigns, etc. So when we are using allowing the GPS, allow the location access, it will have some, whenever we have visited the PVR mall yesterday, tomorrow after 1 week we will get a message that we have visited the mall yesterday, last week, this in the same time, and our last year we have same date we have visited these things. So everything they are tracking. So these are things will happen. So identity theft, malicious apps, some we don't know these apps are good or not, but we'll install some apps which for sudden use, and we'll say that, and finally we'll know that these are malicious apps. At that time they will steal some personal identification information from the devices. So we should be careful while installing the mobile apps, which mobile app is used, where we are installing, from where, which website we are downloading this app, from which Play Store, is it from third party or is it from the genuine website or genuine Play Store. We have to take care of all those things. So last time we have a fake coronavirus tracker app where hackers has developed this malicious software named Corona Tracking Android app. They have developed one Corona Tracking app. Once installed this Corona app, which houses ransomware, it will install some ransomware and take full control of the phone and blocks the user from opening the screen lock. Once you install this app, it will automatically houses to some ransomware, and it will lock your device and block and phone and blocks the user to open the screen lock also. So and they will demand for some ransom of $100 bitcoins from the victims. So if you want to open the screen lock, try to pay some $100 from them. So you should be careful while installing the mobile apps. This is one of the simple example for fake coronavirus app. It has been came into news also. And same from fake Netflix app. Suppose in India we have banned PUBG, we have banned TikTok. In the similar way, some similar apps will arise in the Play Store. We'll install the same. Okay, this is also TikTok. This is the same version. This is the updated version. I think because they already banned it. So we should be careful while installing the app. So there are so many fake Netflix apps are so many fake apps are there, like fake Netflix. See, everything which we seen here is the same like Netflix. So everything is like this. They have changed some names like Flix Online. So 2 months, and they will give some premium subscriptions like 2 months of Netflix premium free at no cost for reason of quarantine coronavirus, and get 2 months of Netflix premium free anywhere in the world for 60 days. Like that, they will give some ads to you. They will give some features to you to use that app. So at that time, when you install that app, they will there is capability of automatically adding some malware into the app, and they will ask you some ransomware. So these are something which you should be careful while installing the apps. This unique method could have enabled threats actor to distribute phishing attacks, spread false information, or steal credentials and data from the users, WhatsApp accounts, and more. So once they have installed the app, they will enter into our mobile device. Definitely, if you enter the mobile into our malware has entered into mobile, it will have the access to all the apps which are you installed, and it will track and monitor and steal some information from the app. So we should be careful while installing the mobile apps. Like another app is like Gfake, a malicious QR code. This Gfake was the first recorded malicious use of QR code. As soon as the when your QR code has been scanned, it directed to victim's URL containing the malware. So when we scan that URL, it will redirectly direct to the URL of that malware. And it will be installed. Once installed, it signed that victim has the premium SMS service and began charging them fees without our knowledge. So we'll install that. Okay, it will have some premium SMS access. It will be there, and it will track. It will automatically take the amount from if you have any installed or saved some cards, it will automatically detect some amount. So this we should be careful while installing the apps. So already mobile based social engineering attacks has been explained by ma'am. So like what are the social engineering attacks? Like through fake calls, like through like fake calls which I said before, some malware spyware attack has been like Pegasus. So Pegasus is like it will have the one missed call. We'll get some missed call. So we will get okay unknown and it will show that unknown. So we don't know where from it is, and we will get a missed call, and it will install some spyware on our device, and it will monitor all the things which we are keeping. So through mobile through mobile advertisements, where we will install through advertisement, it will install some malware in the application mobile device, and it will use. So through infected links, either it may be through messengers or through emails, we'll get some links, and which will reach to these things. So mobile remote access trojan. So when we are tracking some mobile remote access are there, apps are there. When we remote access will be there, definitely that device, that app should be very genuine. So many remote access trojans are there. So we have to take care of this thing. So like smishing, ma'am said, through SMS based, like we'll receive one SMS, and through that we'll get some issue. And fake security applications are there. There are so many. We will use this antivirus application, it will release. So when you install all these fake security apps, it will take the information, steal the information, personal identification information, track the mobile device. So we should all these things. So we should be careful while using the mobile device. So phishing attack remains an mobile phishing, an effective method of stealing credentials and identities, distributing malware, fraudulent payments, etc. One should be deliberately checking the address of the suspicious URL before clicking and may avoid any attacks. So when anything URL is coming to you, when you are getting an email and you are getting an SMS, when you are clicking on that URL, you should be careful how this URL is. So it should be suspicious URL or not, we should be check that. So you should not click on any suspicious URLs and should be avoid any attacks. So the research shows that 1.23 million new phishing sites are launched every month. So 87% of successful mobile phishing attacks takes place outside of email. And only through email 87% of it is coming, and 60% mobile phishing attacks occur over through HTTPS, like man in the middle attack. So we should be careful while using this phishing mobile device. So another thing is like malvertising. So malvertising is a new cyber attack technique that injects malicious code within the digital ads, which I explained. Through advertisement, they will add some malicious code in that, and through that we'll have some pose some risk to users' personal information. They will take some personal information from the mobile device, and it will track some information. Some of the malvertising campaigns like case clean. So when we are using some mobile websites or when we're using, we'll have some case clean, like this ads will come, clean your mobile device, clean your device with scanning, try to use this device. Definitely we'll click on it, so it will scan our device. When it is when you clicked on that, it will go to the device, and it will scan all the apps in the mobile device, and it will take all the information which the mobile apps which we have installed. So these are the malvertising campaigns like case clean, rough tight, Angular exploit kits. These are some malvertising campaigns are there. We should be careful. So coming to the permissions and privacy settings in the mobile app. So there are several components in the device like Bluetooth, camera, storage, location, network, SMS, and telephony. So we are giving the permissions. See, in mobile application, the main concept is like permission only. So there are different types of permissions are there, like normal permissions, signature based permissions, runtime permissions, dangerous permissions. There are different types. I will explain next slide. So these are the some components in the device. Like we will have one Bluetooth application, camera application, for storage, for location. Everything will have some apps. So for that apps, there will be some permissions to use those apps. So when what are those permissions we are using? So when these permissions are when we are using this camera app, exactly what permissions this camera app is taking, what information this camera app is taking, is it is taking only the my picture, or it is accessing some our gallery also. In gallery, what information it is taking, we have to be take care. So everything is based on the permissions only. So when the developer is writing the application, he will know, he will write that these are the permissions has to be taken by the camera. So these are the information he will write to capture the information. So users receive permissions prompt at the install time. So definitely when you install the app, some permissions will be asked to the user that these are the permissions this application is taking. Please accept those permissions, then you can go install. So if you decline that permission, the app cannot be installed. So we have to accept some permissions. So the user has to keep that, the user has to know that he has to read those what are the permissions this application has taken. So the user has to capable of understanding so what this application is taking, what permissions this app is taking. So is it mandatory to for this application? So is this mandatory camera is mandatory for this app or not? So is mandatory Bluetooth permission is required or not? So user has to know, user has to think about it. If it doesn't require, you have to deny that and we have to move. So user receives permission prompt at the install time. So we have to use all our at the time of use installation, at the time of all the time we have to deny that permission. It depends totally on the user. So application permissions. What is the application permission? It is the consent or authorization given to perform any kind of action. So Android apps or mobile apps, either it may be basically now Android apps. So built to perform some set of actions, some of them requiring permissions from the user. So when you are clicking the camera to when we taking some picture of from through camera app, it will ask some prompt will be raised. I think you have seen, you have came into that area. So when we open that camera, it will ask allow this permission only at this time while using the app at all the time, or deny the don't allow. So we have to click that top of that allow when the application is used. So at that time we have to see. So most of the user would overlook or doesn't pay much attention and grant app permission to the mobile app during the installation. So the user don't see, if it is the user is like somewhat educated, somewhat he have a good understanding, he will read those things. Like layman, he won't think, okay, we'll allow everything. So the user will allow everything, every permission which they required. So which will have some leak in the application. So that, you see, the applications, it totally depends upon the user also. The prevention, or we can take this, like it totally depends on both the sides. So user has to take care of that, at the same of the developer also has to take care of. So these are the things as well. So we should be careful, we have to pay much attention. We should be much attention when you are installing that. So application may try to seek permissions which may sometimes over claiming that they are required for application functioning. So sometimes for payment apps or something, location is not necessary, but some of the apps will take that location permission also. So it may not necessary, but they will take it. So it is not necessary. So at that time we have to deny that. When we deny that, the another pop-up will rise that due to this feature won't work. So he has to give that information that if you allow this permission only, then we can give this feature. If you don't allow this permission, this feature won't work. So such type of lenience, such type of feature, the developer has to give to the user so that he can take the at the end of the call will be taken by the user only. So Google has divided this. So for that sake, Google has divided the set of permissions in Android into normal, dangerous, and signature permissions. Coming to the normal permissions, so no risk to the user privacy on device. So there are some normal permissions are there, so where there is no risk to the user's privacy, like they won't take much information like that. There are some permissions are there in Android which won't take, these are normal permissions. So the system grant these permissions automatically. So it will automatically grant the permissions when we install the app. So these include connecting to the internet. When we see this connecting the internet, it is one type of permission when you are installing the app. So it will is a normal permission. It will be, by using this internet permission, we won't get a much issue. Getting to the what is the network of the network of the device, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, NFC information, setting alarms, wallpapers, modifying audio settings on the device. These all permission, these all apps features will have the permission, and these are all called as a normal permissions only. So it won't have the risk to the user's privacy. So it will automate, so that's why it will automatically install the grants the permissions automatically when the app is getting installed. So coming to the dangerous permissions are the permissions which could potentially affect the user's privacy or the device operation. Suppose example, I'm giving that if you want to see here, if you want to read the contacts from your phone or you want to access file storage of the phone, then these permissions come under the dangerous permission. See, reading the phone contacts is very dangerous because our contact should not move to the other side. It should not go outside of the network. You should not go outside of the device. You should not get access to the outside. So to read the contacts, there will be one permission to read the contacts. So the user has to know that why should this application require contacts? Is mandatory to, is this necessary for this app to read the contacts? So if it is required, allow this read contacts permission at while using the app only. So after using that app, it should be automatically disabled. So such things like allow the file storage, our storage will be there. If you allow the storage, it will read all the storage data which we have installed, our personal information, everything we store. So it will act, the outside people will have the access when the use this app. So these are the some dangerous permission at that time. So at that time, the most of the apps will have just such things. So these are comes under the dangerous permissions, which they include the user's privacy also. So another permission is like signature based permission. So the Android system grants these permissions at the installation time, but there is one condition where signature permissions, like suppose I'm using the MI phone and there will be some app will be there through like automatic already installed app stock, it is called as a stock apps. So when you interact with those apps, definitely that app signature and the user, the another app signature should be the same. So asking some permission must be signed with the same signature as that app that defines the required permission. So definitely these permissions should be same. So purpose of this signature permission is like application with the same developer able to share data seamlessly without bothering the user. Suppose I have two apps, it has to be interact with each other. Then I no need to add those permissions in two apps. I will have one permissions. Definitely it will give the access to those permissions. At that time we'll use the signature based permission apps. So the best practices in today's age where user and data privacy are the utmost importance. Users data and privacy are the utmost importance. Runtime permissions in Android as important initiative in that direction. These runtime permissions has came into picture recently with the latest versions of the Android from Android 6 version. The runtime permissions are came, and so better to avoid the oldest phones, so which have some security patches. So better to avoid the outdated phones and use the some latest phones only. And runtime permission with user victim. So where the control with the user has control over the data they share with the apps, because we will have the grant access. We'll have the permission that we have to grant the access or not. So there will be some transparency. User understands what data an app uses, why the app access this data. So there will be some transparency between the app and the user. So we'll have some idea that why this is using, why this app this permission is using, why this permission is using this app. So we'll have some idea that. So data minimization and app access and uses only the data that required for specific task. So we'll give some permission which is required to some specific task only. So based on that, it will access that permission and it will will resolve the data, will resolve the requirement of the user, and it will close the disable the data. So these are the basic uses of these permissions in the Android. So what is the challenges with the permissions? So user permissions will have the limited understanding of potential risk of enabling. So as a educated, as a normal person who is using have some knowledge of using the apps, he will understand that okay, we will enable this one. But as a layman who are using nowadays, even in uh, rural areas, they are using the smartphones, they are enabling all the data, they are putting all the information in that, and they are enabling all the permissions in that. So where the information will be get lost. So pre-installed or OEM apps in the Android are automatically grant all the required permission. So now MI phones are there, which are manufactured in China. So this will have the granted, these apps will be automatically already get installed in the app when we buy it. So this will have the automatic grant access to all the device information. So we should be careful such things. So that's why China mobile apps are getting banned in nowadays. The government of India is taking the initiative of banning the mobile apps with respect to China, with respect to how communication, what are the apps communicating with the China, like a TikTok or PUBG, whichever they are communicating with, the apps are communicating with the China servers, and when the app is communicating with the China servers are taking the information of the users, and they are taking the breaching the privacy of the user. So this is one thing. So permissions are not one-to-one mapping, like access to camera may also grant access to photos. Suppose the developer has such a way that he developed the camera app in such a way that when you enable this permission to access the camera access, it will grant all the access to other apps also. Take the information from the other apps. So you should be careful with the respect to the permissions. So few application developers lack comprehensive understanding on permissions to be synced. So some developers are there and don't understand, they will install, they will give all the permissions to the app. So developer has to has the knowledge, definitely while developing the application. The developer has to keep in mind that what are the permissions required for such app, then that permissions only should be allowed. Then you should not allow all permissions, because the developers also have the knowledge that okay, will grant all the permissions, will take while the user installed the app, will take all the information from the user. There is some chances of developer who is grantedly they are unintentionally they are taking the data. So they are intentionally keeping all these permissions in the app. So on that app we are using that app, and intentionally they are taking the data from our app. These are the challenges with respect to the permissions. So for all this, what are the mitigation methods to secure mobile and mobile apps? So first we will, with respect to the device, how to secure your mobile device. So we should not run your phone unrooted. Rooted is nothing but we will get a suppose when you buy new phone, it will come into normal ways. So the people won't get access to the root level, to this OS level. So this is called rooted. So suppose the device is getted rooted means it will have the access to the root level where the attacker can directly enter into your device even he is not he is not divided connected. So you should not run your phone on the rooted. So keep your antivirus software up to date. So you have to take some antivirus. Last time I said there's many antiviruses are there. We have to install those antivirus in the mobile app and we have to use it. Keep mobile OS and firmware regularly updated. So what are the security patches the Android or mobile OS has giving to you? You should be keep updating on that. We should regularly update those security patches based on the OS versions. So we have to keep updating on that. Then only we'll have been a secure way. Avoid sharing names of your schools, pet names, places, or birth, etc. Everything. Maximum we should not use most of the data to the mobile device. Also, we should be careful. We should not share our information to the device. For financial and other important apps, use two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication, like after mail and password, we have to give some other OTP-based thing. Then only it will be have. So coming to what is rooted, exactly rooted is like there are two. Actually, the device which we'll buy outside is like a normal device where we won't get access to the OS level. OS level means like it is like a OEM OS which has been installed. So we won't get access to that level. We'll get access to the only the application level. We won't get access to the OS level. What back exactly OS is using. So at the time, what these pen testers or attackers will know, they will take your phone and they will root the device. There are some softwares are there to root the your device so that they will access. They will get all the permissions. They will get all the access to your device at the OS level. This is called as a rooted. And don't leave your devices in unsecured and in public. You should not leave your device in the public areas or unsecured areas in the public. So when we are another thing is with respect to mobile apps, and now before I speak about them with respect to mobile device, now with respect to mobile applications, how to secure our mobile application. So there is a one Google Play Protect in your mobile Play Protect. It will be there once Google Play Protect is enabled in your device. It scans every app you try to download from the Play Store before installing it on the device. It will scan automatically all the apps which you have, also scans through the device and checks the apps for harmful behavior and notifies that any threat found. Suppose some malware, some malicious apps are there. It will automatically scan some app and it will say that it will get some access. It will app is somewhat threat will be there, it will check. So we should be enabled some Google Play Protect for that. So revisit app permissions whenever you are giving the app permissions. So the user has to have a habituation of like go to app permissions in the application in the mobile device and update the selection accordingly. Suppose now I have taken one camera app here. In that camera app, now suppose I have taken some camera app here. Here I have allowed 5 permissions for that, like allow this camera app for the messaging, phones, everything. So these are the permissions when you that you allowed only when you use. So we have to allow these camera permission when the application using messages, phone settings, etc. So we should allow this camera permission allow only while using the app. We should be careful. You should have this habituate that allow only while using the app. We have to give this permission only when I'm using the app. Ask every time. Or we can say that ask every time when I'm using. Even that at the time also allow only when using the app. Don't allow. If it is not required for the application which you are using, camera is not required for the application which you are not using. So don't allow. And it will show some message that if you don't allow it will look like this. So it will give some pop-up that if you don't allow this permission, you won't get the feature of this. So then we can understand that, okay, we have to enable this feature for sake of that, for that feature. So for that feature, if it is required for you, then you can allow it. If it is not required, then keep it as a don't allow, and then you can move further for using that app. So definitely the user has to have the practice of visiting this permissions manager in the app mobile device, and we have to use those things. So where this access permission manager will be there means you have to go to the settings apps, and then permission manager will be there. I have to click that permission manager, then we'll have such screens will be visible to you. Based on if you click on that, definitely these things will show to you. Or which settings are in privacy. So different versions will have different paths. So I'm saying this is one path where you can have the permission manager. So you go to that permission manager and check what are the permissions you are given to such which application, is it required or not. You should be have the habit of that. So while using this application, while using the device, suppose sir, I am using my mobile application and some banking application. It is OTP is filled automatically. So suppose if OTP is filled automatically by your application while performing any transaction or filling any page, it means that app has that financial app has the permission to read your SMS automatically. So you are given a permission in such a way that you can read our SMS app message app. Whenever the message comes, OTP has come, take automatically read that OTP and automatically forward to the application means definitely you have given that permission. Suppose if in your browser without entering any credentials, you are able to see logged in state of the website, it means that you have saved your credentials and remember every time, remember our username and password. When there will be one checkbox will be there. At that we will give that remember, so that it will save your credentials, and so whenever you came into that website, it automatically logged in. So in spite of turning off location Bluetooth, some applications will automatically turn on whenever it is required. So we should be careful while using it means some app is controlling the same. That's why we have to revisit every time when you are using the application. When you have to revisit that permission manager, what are the permissions I have given, what are the permissions I have allowed to the application while using the application. So like this. So OTP, it will see this screen have you observed before, I think. So it will take automatically the OTP and it will process that thing. So we should be careful while using this permissions. And remember the credentials here. Niche here at the down we will remember the customer ID. So remember uncheck them for the app to autofill them. So we have to uncheck them because these are some critical things. So like a financial app. These are, suppose if it is a Facebook something like other, that also it is not a mandatory. We should not keep, but some people will use that. So we should be remember it is not a standard for using those things. So we should uncheck all those things. Suppose whenever we'll give our system to some of my friend who is we don't know that he will use for unpermanent. We'll give system, we'll give some device, our device to my friends. So they will have the access directly if you remember everything. So we should be careful while using these things. We should disable cloud based backup. So when you are using the mobile app, you should be disable the backup of the, so allow backup in the cloud. Suppose the cloud data is that server is not storing the data in an encrypted manner or encrypted manner, definitely the data will be stolen. So the person who is storing the cloud data, they are taking all the data and they are stealing, and they are giving the data to some other third party business persons, and they are taking the money. So there will be some transfer of users information to other persons. So this is also another problem. So we should disable cloud based backup for our personal information. So prevent unauthorized apps from installing. So we should prevent the unauthorized app. Suppose we are installing the app from the third party, or some person will come try to install this app without directly. He will give some APK to you or try to install this without any third party uh, publishers or play stores. So prevents your device to allow or not allow to install apps from the developers. So publishers and sources outside of the trusted. So we should install the apps from the genuine links or the trusted sources. Play Store is a trusted one. So like that, because there are some third-party stores are there like APK Pure, like that many third-party stores are there where we can install the apps from that. So we should be careful while using that. So such in third parties of some other stores can lead to malicious and phishing apps. If you install the apps from the third party or somewhere, it will reach to some malicious or phishing apps. Or for the apps related to payment, banking, or social networking, etc., prefer to download the app from the company's owned website. So it's better to download the, like with respect to banking or social networking, we prefer to download the apps from the original website or genuine website. We go there, they will have an option, and then we have to download that. So download apps from the genuine link and avoid all-in-one app for any requirement. Suppose I search for PNB banking app, Punjab National Bank app in the Play Store. Here we'll see number of apps are there. So we don't know which is exact one, which is genuine one, which is not genuine, we don't know. So at that time we need to go to the personal link from the original banking website. So we need to go to the banking website where we'll have some mobile banking apps. When we click on that mobile banking apps, it will give some genuine apps of that website or that banking services. So from there we have to install the app. So this is one way of installing the app from the genuine stores. So say no to all-in-one apps. So here see we'll have all bank balances check-in through one single app. So there is no such criteria there. We can install through one app. We can check all the bank balances of different banks. So you should say no to all these all-in-one apps. We have to avoid this say all-in-one apps. So this is one thing. Enable auto update of OS updates or patches. Ensure that auto update. If you go to our update through auto update overnight, so we have to enable this. So whenever the auto update of the OS it comes, it will give some security patches. So and it will auto update. Ensure that auto update is turned on for auto updating of security patches in Android way. So you should give the auto update of the thing. This is one thing. Find my device. There is another feature in device where find my device you should be on. Suppose my device has been lost, so we can through this find my device we can check where exactly the application where the mobile device is located. If the mobile device is in state of on, then definitely it will show the location where the app where the device is there. So we should be careful. We should have the find my device should be enabled. Someone has stolen it, then we may alert the authorized to take the measure to block the access of the mobile device. So these are the things we should be careful while installing the mobile apps. So there are some things are there which we have to remember. So always keep updating your devices with the latest software. We should keep always updating. We should be with the latest software. Always install security patches provided by the OEMs to protect from threats. We should keep protect from the OEMs. So we have to keep all the security patches being installed. Never click on any unknown URLs links you have received over SMS or WhatsApp or emails, everything. So never install apps or software from unfamiliar publishers. Apart from that, the original publishers, you should not install the apps from the other unfamiliar publishers. Never install apps or software from third-party apps. We should not third-party stores are there. Number of third-party stores available nowadays. We should not now install those apps. Never use public Wi-Fi hotspots for performing critical transactions. See, whenever we'll go to railway station, there will be Wi-Fi. Okay, free Wi-Fi will be there. When we go hotels, we'll connect to the hotel Wi-Fi's which are not secure. We should not use those Wi-Fi's which are not secure. Okay, at the time when you do some critical transactions, then this Wi-Fi will automatically take some data from your device and it will read. So better to avoid those Wi-Fi hotspots for performing critical transactions. Okay. Example WhatsApp, suppose we have to see that my profile photo and status to be seen to limited, then they are providing some privacy to you. This is one simple example. So where you can go to the account privacy where your last in should not, my photo should not be available visible to outside of the public. It has to be shown to only my contacts. Then there is a future for this such thing. Simple example this. There will be two-factor authentication, enable two-factor authentication in the WhatsApp to unauthorized registration of a WhatsApp account. So we should have to, there will be there. So WhatsApp web is there nowadays. This is the main issue where we are facing. So whenever we'll go some website, we'll use some system or desktop, we'll log in into WhatsApp web in that, and we forgot to log out. So we'll go some other device like that. There are some last active. There are many browsers it will be shown. Whenever you used it, it should be logged out when it's not in use by you. So we should be have a habit of logging out of the application. So we should not data and storage usage. So when you are using mobile, so disable auto download of media. In WhatsApp, we'll keep no. So whenever the mobile data is on, whenever someone send the message, some pictures or something, you should not keep in an auto download mode. You should be keep that whenever you click on that, then only it has to be installed. So we should keep such one in a such a you have to disable this auto download of media. So these points to be remembered while using the mobile device, and we have to be remembered some while using the mobile application. Download the apps from the genuine link and avoid all-in-one apps for any requirement. Before installing any app, make a habit of to read about the app. So when you are installing the app, try to read about the what is the app doing, and what are the reviews of that app. Check the what are the permissions that app needs. Read the privacy policy. See, nowadays, when we are I came from the mobile security analysis team. When we are analyzing the mobile apps, see first what we are nowadays, why the government of India is banning Chinese apps means. So the they are Chinese apps, they are clearly mentioning in privacy policy that they are writing one statement. They are writing some statements that we are collecting this information from the user. We are collecting SMSs, all the SMSs from the device. We are reading all the SMS devices. They are clearly mentioning in the privacy policy, and the user won't read this privacy policy and he will install that app. So when something happens, we cannot the person who has developed that lab, who have published, the owner of that app, he will say that I've clearly mentioned in my privacy policy that I will take this information from the user. He will blame to the user only. Yaar, I have told you already that these are the information I will take from take from when you use this app. So we won't read this privacy policy. So we don't know why these are, there will be much more information reading, why this waste of time. So we'll directly automatically install the app. So at that time, we cannot blame some other person. So we should read the privacy policies. So try to read the privacy policies and terms and conditions of the app as mentioned by the developer. And if you have any issues, find out more details about the developer from the Play Store. Install a trustworthy antivirus app which acts as a safety net and can identify the apps with adware or malware. Be alert and cautious every time when you are using mobile devices. It will save your personal data and privacy. And never use public Wi-Fi hotspots for performing the critical transactions. So set time limit and lock mobile automatically when it is not used. So we should keep it locked that when you are not in use. So these are the minimum things. We have to use the turn off Bluetooth and Wi-Fi when it is not in use. So we should be enabled or disabled when you are using the mobile app and mobile application. We should be remembered all those things. Okay. These are the things. Coming to with respect to Android or iOS platform, which is now everyone is saying that iOS platform is very secure compared with Android. Why means, so most secure app marketplace is in with respect to the App Store, because this App Store they are checking the apps. When the developer is publishing the App Store people, the Apple people, they will check each and everything, what this exactly, why it is using. So they are checking everything. But in Android, they are not checking anything. They are directly the developer will give some APK to the publisher, and the publisher will publish the app and it will release into the market. So this is one of the major drawback with respect to Android. So most secured manufacturing process, the layer structured of the iOS architecture is like in a secured way compared with Android. So their best security patches will be there in the Android, in the iOS, but it is not in Android because Android is an open source. So there will be security issues. So for Android is an open source where OEM is available, source code is available for OS, source code is available in an open source. So everyone, for Samsung, they will customize their own OS. MI people, they will customize their own OS. So Google has given the Android as an open source. So everyone is taking their code in source code openly and they are giving that. So it is very difficult. That's why this is somewhat unsecure with respect to Android compared with iOS. most supported of third-party security. So there in the Android apps, there most of the people will use some third-party libraries for some different features when they are developing them. So these third parties are not secure; they are not tested. So this is the one of the drawback of the Android. But in iOS, they have their own libraries with respect to Apple. They have their own tested third-party libraries they are using. That's why these Apple phones are secure. And iOS source code is not open source, and they are the commercial type. They won't give out of the state. So these are the secure way that Android is not there. But market share, when you compare with market share, most of the people are using Android only with compared to iOS. Nowadays, most of the people are coming out with the iOS devices also. This is the market share with respect to different types of OEMs. Most of the people are using Xiaomi, that like MI they are using. After that, they are using Samsung, Vivo, Oppo, Realme, some other devices. So this is the market share in India with different reasons. So what are the reasons with vulnerabilities with respect to Android? iOS App Store has more stringent rules as compared with the Google Play Store. As Android is open source, OEM to different various customizations in source code, which might have glitches left through which hackers attacks may exploit the Android devices. Due to some customizations, which is an open source code, due to this, these things happen. Inconsistency software update security patches received on the mobile device as OEM has their own customization. So these are the vulnerabilities which we have seen in the Android platform compared with the iOS. So these are the things, these are some malwares which already ma'am has spoken. Spyware, like malware, everything. So how this at finally I will explain these types of mobile applications, like what are different types of mobile applications. So how these apps are made, what are the technologies used. I think it is not required for you, but I'm just giving the info for you. What are the different types of technologies used for development of mobile apps? So there are three ways we can develop the mobile app. One is with native app, hybrid apps, like cross-platform apps, where web apps. So these are the three types of platforms where you can develop the mobile apps, native apps. Types of mobile with Android, where we'll develop by using the technology called Java or Kotlin, and there will be some IDE like who are interested in development, they can have some uh, crispy information here. How these Android apps have been developed means by using the Java or Kotlin. Kotlin has become the best thing, and IDE for Android Studio one is there for developing of Android mobile applications, and the another is iOS, where we'll have platform with respect to that, where we'll have used the technology called Swift or Objective C, and we'll use the IDE development environment as a Xcode will be there in for iOS. Like in Android, we have Android Studio. In iOS, we'll have a Xcode. So these are the things in Android and iOS, and there are some Windows phones are there which already. So where these technologies like .NET and C# they will use, and they will use some Visual Studio development environment for that. So these are the types of cross-platform are there, where it will install in both the Android and iOS. The developer will develop in a single way, and it can be installed both the ways. So these are the different types of mobile applications which we can see nowadays. And nowadays the cross-platform app development has came into in a rapid growth, where you can, once the developer will develop the application in a single, they will write the code for single thing, and they can install the app in both the Android and iOS. There are some that's why it's called as a cross-platform. They are like you can develop through React Native or Flutter. Flutter is like a Google's official language for technology for development of the apps, and Xamarin for the Windows phones. These are the things. These are the types of mobile applications.